Why most relationships fail. Why most relationships are unsuccessful. When you first get into a relationship, it's fun and exciting. You don't really know who the person is. So you enjoy learning more about them. You spend a lot of time together. Maybe you have a lot in common. Or maybe you enjoy learning about what the other person likes. Everything seems great. You feel like you could spend the rest of your life with this person. They're always there when you need them. They know what to do to make you happy. And in the beginning, it feels like a successful relationship. It feels like you found someone who is a good match. Someone who is very suitable for you. But as time goes by, you find yourself drifting apart. Or maybe you don't agree on things as much as you used to. You may experience conflict. You may experience arguments or disagreements. And you may wonder what went wrong. You may wonder why things have changed. You may feel like your relationship partner is not doing what you want them to do. You may feel like they have changed. Or you may blame yourself. You may feel like you could have done more. The truth is that both people who are in the relationship can make positive changes. There is always something you can do to improve the situation. But the best way to improve the situation is very different to what would be commonly expected. People may commonly assume that if a relationship isn't working, you just need to spend more time together. But often the reason why the relationship isn't working is because you have neglected yourself. People often get into these relationships hoping that the other person is going to complete them, hoping that the other person is going to make them happy, which is actually quite selfish. And it is a lot of pressure to put on someone. A good relationship partner should already be complete before they meet you. They should already be happy. If they are dependent on you for their happiness and wholeness, that is a toxic relationship. It is destined to fail. A healthy relationship should involve two whole and complete individuals who are complementing each other, who are emphasizing each other's qualities. You should never need another person to complete you. You should already be complete on your own. There is nothing wrong with wanting a relationship, but it should never be something you need. It should never be essential for your survival. But this is often what relationships are like for most people today. And that is why they often fail. But rather than realizing that they are too dependent on another person, people assume that they need to spend more time together. They need more time to work things out, which is only going to make them even more dependent on each other. It's going to cause them to neglect themselves even more. When you feel like the relationship is failing, when you feel like things have changed from how they used to be, when you feel like you're experiencing more arguments and disagreements than positive experiences, the best thing you can do is give each other space. The best thing you can do is spend some time apart, so that you can attend to yourself again, so that you can give yourself what you need rather than depending on someone else. Because no one else can complete you. No one else can make you happy. Happiness comes from within. When your relationship partner first met you, that is the person that they were attracted to. They were attracted to someone who is self-sufficient, someone who is emotionally and intellectually independent. And if you are able to become that person again, it is likely that your relationship will improve. You may be in a relationship with someone who is afraid to give you space. They are afraid to give you any time to yourself. And if that's you, you may be in a toxic relationship. Because everyone needs time to recharge. Everyone needs time to themselves. It is very unhealthy to always be around someone. It suggests that you are emotionally dependent on them, when we should be able to regulate our own emotions. Some relationship partners may be afraid to give you space because they fear that you will drift apart. In these situations, it suggests that they think they're not good enough for you. It suggests that they think you deserve better, or that you might find better. And they assume that if you get a taste of what it's like to be by yourself, you're not going to want to be around them anymore. These types of relationships can also be very toxic. It is very healthy behavior to spend time by yourself. And it is essential for a healthy relationship. Rather than having fear that they are going to leave you, you should have faith in what you are doing for them. You should trust that they're going to want to come back, because you recognize your value. You recognize that you are good for them. And even if they choose to move on, you can accept that maybe it's just not meant to be, rather than holding on to something that isn't working, rather than prolonging the inevitable. The more you attach yourself to a person, the more they're going to want to run away. The more you try to control someone, the more they're going to rebel. And it is actually very selfish to do that. everyone deserves to be free. Everyone deserves the right to make their own decisions. But often out of our own fear, we try to make people do what we want them to do, which only ends up prolonging the inevitable, and it only ends up making them resent us. Because it creates a person who is too afraid to leave, rather than a person who is willingly choosing to stay, which is likely to be what you would prefer. But to have a person who is willingly choosing to stay, you have to give them the option to leave. You have to allow them to have their freedom, where they have the power to act, speak and think as they want, where they're allowed to have their own opinions and beliefs, their own ideas and perspectives. Nothing really develops from control. Control only restricts development. Some people want to keep it in the box for as long as they can, because at that moment it's serving them. But it's only when you let it out of the box that it can finally grow into what it's supposed to be. It's just that some people have their own agendas. They want it to be something that fulfills them. Which only ends up causing it to fail in the end. They just end up creating something that comes back to bite them. It comes back to cause a bigger problem for them in the future, because they didn't deal with it when they had the chance. And that is why it's so important to let things develop naturally, rather than trying to control it and turn it into whatever you want it to be. I'd just like to finish this video with a story from Maria's diary. Once upon a time, there was a bird. He was adorned with 2 perfect wings and with glossy, colourful, marvellous feathers. One day a woman saw this bird and fell in love with him. She invited the bird to fly with her, and the two travelled across the sky in perfect harmony. She admired and venerated and celebrated that bird. But then she thought he might want to visit far off mountains, and she was afraid that she would never feel the same way about any other bird. And she thought, I'm going to set a trap. The next time the bird appears, he will never leave again. The bird, who was also in love, returned the following day. He fell into the trap and was put in a cage. She looked at the bird every day. There he was, the object of her passion. And she showed him to her friends, who said, "Now you have everything you could possibly want." However, a strange transformation began to take place. Now that she had the bird and no longer needed to woo him, she began to lose interest. The bird, unable to fly and express the true meaning of his life, began to waste away, and his feathers to lose their gloss. He grew ugly, and the woman no longer paid him any attention, except by feeding him and cleaning out his cage. One day the bird died. The woman felt terribly sad and spent all her time thinking about him. But she did not remember the cage. She thought only of the day when she had seen him for the first time, flying contentedly amongst the clouds. If she had looked more deeply into herself, she would have realized that what had thrilled her about the bird was his freedom, the energy of his wings in motion, not his physical body. Without the bird, her life too lost all meaning, and death came knocking at her door. "Why have you come?" she asked Death. "So that you can fly once more with him across the sky," Death replied. "If you had allowed him to come and go, you would have loved and admired him evermore. Alas, you now need me in order to find him again." Thank you for watching. I hope that this video has been helpful to you. Sending you peace, love and light. And I look forward to talking with you in my next video soon.